Okay, recording. Hello everybody, welcome. We're going to be doing an essential mat class today, every third Wednesday of the month. It's essential, so it's just nice to work a little bit slower and get back to basic movements in Pilates and just focus on more simple movements so that we can deepen the practice through the core. So we'll start with the right leg in front. We're going to take the right arm up and over, just gentle side bend, all the way back up, left arm up and over. Just get our bodies stretched out before we move. Let's do that again 2 more times each way, making sure that you're anchoring your hips onto the mat. And 1 more time each way. We're going to take the arms out in front and you're just going to straighten your spine over the legs just enough where you feel a gentle stretch in the back of your right hip. Deep breath in, exhale, restack the spine all the way back up. We're going to bring our hands behind us and just add a little lift through the body. So I'll turn to the side. So I'm just going to lift my heart up and kind of arching my back. And then again, dive over the legs, reaching your arms forward, gentle stretch in the hip. Exhale, restacking the spine. Hands behind, lift the heart. I'm going to turn to the side for the last one with the right leg in front. So we're going to dive over, restack from the base of the spine all the way up. Hands go behind, lift the heart. And then we'll come back to center, bring the left leg in front, left arm goes up and over. And then switching sides, right arm up and over. 2 more times each way, keeping our hips cemented or anchored to the floor. Just a gentle side bend, warming up the body. 1 more each way. And then I'll turn to the side again. We're going to take the arms in front, straighten the spine. So you feel that gentle stretch in the back of the left hip. Restack the spine from the base of the pelvis all the way to the crown of the head so we get this gentle stretch through our spine, hands behind, and just lift the heart up. And then again, releasing that forward, arms reach forward, just slide them out on your mat or floor. Restack from the base of the pelvis all the way to the crown of the head, bring the arms behind us, lift the heart. 1 more each way. And then 1 more extension. And coming back to center, we're just going to take our legs out, grab underneath the legs, and just scoop, kind of leading back with the pelvis, leading back with the pubic bone. We'll roll all the way down onto the mat. Let's just do a nice body check before we get started. So we want the feet and knees hip width apart. Bringing our awareness up into the pelvis. We want to feel like we have a teacup right on top. It's going to stay balanced. You're going to resist it tipping towards you or away. So you'll feel your tailbone very heavy against the mat. You'll also feel a little space open between your low back and the mat, just big enough for part of your hand to fit back there. Bringing our awareness up into the ribs. Imagine the bottoms of the ribs. We're going to just draw those down towards the hip bones that stick out in front of the pelvis. But when you do that, you're going to feel the low back, or not the low back, excuse me, the mid back come in contact with the mat. Bringing the arms down to the side, you want to feel the shoulder blades pull flat against the back or the mat. They'll feel like they're flat against the mat here. Looking straight up, so we're not looking ahead or down, just straight up to the ceiling so the neck feels long and relaxed. So we're going to just do a few deep breaths in and out into our Pilates breath. So in Pilates, we inhale through the nose and exhale through slightly pursed lips. So let's try that. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through slightly pursed lips. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose, Exhale through slightly pursed lips. Now bringing our awareness back into our rib cage. As you take your next inhale, see if you can focus on feeling your ribs expand towards the mat, to the sides, and to the ceiling. As you exhale, the ribs just draw down naturally together. Let's try that 2 more times. One more. Such a relaxing thing to do, just to get into the breath and focus on feeling where your breath is coming from or going into. So now we're going to force out our exhale just a little bit today, not too forcefully. And as we do that, I want you to imagine the hip bones pulling together in the front of the pelvis and the sits bones pulling together at the base of the pelvis. So taking our deep breath in, feeling the ribs expand. Just push out the air a little bit more through your slightly pursed lips. Hip bones pull together, sit bones pull together. So what we're going to feel is our core contract. It feels like you're bracing. And when you add the sit bones at the base of the pelvis, you'll feel a gentle lift in the pelvic floor. It's not a huge squeeze, just a gentle lift. Let's relax that. Take a deep breath in again. Feel the ribs expand. Gently force out the air just a little bit more than you would in your normal exhale. Hip bones pull together, sit bones pull together. And now we're going to try to keep that braced feeling. So everything just feels like it's getting tight towards your center. And as we keep that, we're going to inhale, feel the ribs expand again. Exhale through slightly pursed lips, just a normal exhale. And see if you can kind of deepen that braced feeling through your core. Let's do that again. Keep the braced. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Feel the ribs expand. And exhale. We're going to keep our braced feeling. Keep our breath going. And as you inhale, we're going to slide the right leg out. As we exhale, we deepen through the core just slightly as we pull the leg back in. And let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg goes out. Exhale, you pull it back in. And again, right. And really reach through your toe. So we're stretching through the leg. Pulling it back in on our exhale. And as we reach the leg out, you want to resist any movement in your hips or your body. It's really just the hip joint itself moving. Let's keep going side to side, right to left, and really focusing on keeping the body still as we move the legs. So we're disassociating the leg movement from the rest of our body. One more time, right and then left. Now we're going to keep our feet here. We're going to take the arms up to the ceiling, palms face each other. And I want you to still feel your shoulder blades against the mat, as well as the back part of the ribs. So we're still melting the ribs down. On your inhale, let's take the right arm overhead without shifting through the torso. Exhale, bring the arm back up. And left arm, inhale and exhale. And it's okay if your hand doesn't touch the floor. As you reach your arm up, you just want to resist your ribs flaring. That's what usually will happen when you go for more range of motion. You don't have it in the shoulder joint already. So just allow the arm to go back as far as your body's going to allow you to do that. One more each way. And you'll feel a nice gentle release through the shoulder joint. Now, we're going to send the right leg out and left arm overhead on our inhale. So opposite arm and leg, exhale, bring them back up. Right arm, left leg. And as we continue to do this, opposite arm and leg reaching together, you want to resist, same thing, no movement in the trunk of our body. So again, we're disassociating that movement from the hip joint with the leg and the arm. Let's do one more each way. Right leg, left arm. Left leg, right arm. Beautiful job. We're going to bring our arms down to our side. Again, allowing the shoulder blades to rest back on the mat. Take a deep breath in, feel the ribs expand, and we're going to bring our right leg to tabletop. Knee right over your hip. Try to get your foot down enough where you think that your shin is parallel to the floor. And then on our exhale, we're going to put that foot right back down. Let's do the same thing on the left. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, left leg goes down. So now we're going into picking up the weight of our leg, and we want to resist the same thing. No movement in the trunk of our body. We're disassociating the movement of the leg from the hip. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, place it down. Focusing on keeping that little imaginary teacup balanced on the pelvis. Now let's add on. We're going to bring the right leg up. On your inhale, reach it out. Exhale, pull it back into tabletop. Inhale, put it down. So we're kind of adding the leg reaching out, just like we slid it, except now the weight of your leg is off the floor. So it gives us a little bit more of a challenge. Left leg comes up. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, pull it back in. Inhale, place it down. Let's keep going side to side, using our breath to guide our movement. And just a reminder of the breath. It's an exhale to pick the leg up. Inhale to reach it out. Exhale to bring it in. Inhale to put it down. Exhale to lift it up. Inhale to reach it away. Exhale to bring it in. Inhale to put it down. Let's do one more each way, everybody. So really starting to feel some work through the hip joint and maybe even into the lumbar extensors, your low spine, the muscles that run along it, because you're really trying to hold on to that neutral. So those muscles have to work in order for you to hold on to that. So we're going to imprint now, speaking of staying in neutral. So we're going to go out of neutral into imprint. So take that imaginary teacup and you're going to tip it towards your belly button. So now you feel your low back gently flatten against the mat beneath you. What you're going to feel in the front of the body is more work through the low abs and possibly even the hip flexors. Make sure when you do this, the shoulders are still flat against the mat, shoulders and collarbones pretty much relaxed. And then we're going to release back to neutral. Let's do that again. Exhale, tip your teacup towards you. So you feel your low back making an imprint on the mat. And then inhale, release, back to neutral. Let's do that 3 more times. This just feels nice because it gives you some range of motion in the low spine. So we're taking it into a little stretch as we go into imprint. And then we're working those lumbar extensors as we find neutral. 2 more. And 1 more time. Just like a little massage for the low back. So let's go ahead and find imprint. We're going to bring both legs to tabletop, trying to hold our imprint. So now you'll feel your whole spine on the mat, except for a space at your neck. You want to make sure your knees are over your hip. You don't want them way in here. If they're more over your hip, you're going to feel more work through your core. So if it feels too easy, just bring your knees out a little bit. From this position, we're going to go into toe taps. So one knee, say the right one, it's going to go away until the toe taps the mat. And then we pull the knee right back up, connect the legs. And then left leg, knee goes away, taps, the foot taps the floor. And we pull it back up. Make sure you don't just bend your knees like this. You won't feel anything. All right, you're going to let the knee go away. So the weight of our leg goes away from us, and then we have to use our core to pull it back in. Same thing as we reach away, the abs have to work harder. So let's go ahead and keep going. Inhale, tap, exhale up. We can pick up our pace a little bit. Inhale, tap, exhale up. Let's go for another 4 sets. Two more sets. So you're gonna feel that advanced work through your abdominals as your knee goes away. One more. And rest your feet on the mat, find neutral. Just give your low back, bringing yourself back to neutral will take you out of that stretch, so it'll feel nice. So we're gonna go back to staying in neutral, just give our lumbar extensors a break, and we're gonna practice ab preps. So the most important part, in my opinion, in an ab prep or whenever you're doing a crunch is the movement of flexing your cervical spine. So what we do is we draw the chin down slightly. The head stays on the floor. Whenever I teach this, I always find people just lifting their head off. Your head actually stays on the floor, and what we're doing is just dropping the chin down, which in turn lengthens the neck, the back of the neck, so your cervical spine. And then we release it back to our neutral. If you put your fist right between your chin and your chest, when you draw your chin down, you can imagine just pinching your fist. So you're not, jarring the chin down to the chest. It's just a slight tuck. And, sometimes the jaw wants to drop down when I teach this, so just make sure your jaw's relaxed. You're not like opening up your jaw like that to try to get your chin down. It's just a slight tuck. You still have space between the chin and the chest. Let's do that just 2 more times. If you feel comfortable, you can remove your fist and just place your hand on the floor. And then one more, this one we're gonna hold. Now we're gonna actually curl up by using our upper abs. So our head's in the right spot in order to curl up. So we're now going to draw the ribs down towards the hips and lift the head and the shoulder blades. For an ab prep, the arms are going to come off the mat into a little hover just in front of the body. Now bring your awareness to your pelvis. You want to be in neutral. Don't go into imprint yet. So if you're in imprint like that, just release. Feel those lumbar extensors working. And then we're going to slowly lower all the way back down. The last thing to release is your chin tuck. Let's try that again. Tuck chin to chest. Back of the head stays on the mat. Draw the ribs down. You can start to reach through your fingertips as you come up into your ab prep. Stay in neutral. So when you come up into that ab prep, you're going to feel work back here. And then slowly lower back down. Let's do that 2 more times. We're going to exhale to curl. Inhale to lower. One more time. Exhale to curl. Inhale to lower. If you feel any tension in your neck, just roll your head side to side. It's funny because, I've been doing Pilates for over 15 years and also teaching it for about that long. And, I'm advanced, and a lot of my students are also advanced. So it's funny when you start to go into these simple movements in Essential, how much you actually feel that your neck is working because you're doing such a simple movement. So it really brings your focus back into like what muscles are really working. Because sometimes in advance, you just get so, pumped to do like these hard movements that you kind of forget like how much your neck muscles are working or how much your back's working to stay in neutral because you're doing all these other movements to make it more advanced. So that's why I love doing Essential stuff. So now we're going to do our ab preps in imprint. So let's imprint. Bring the legs back to your tabletop. A nice variation, if you have a hard time holding your legs up, you can cross your ankles. It does make it a little easier. And then you have a space between your knees also. If you don't need that, just squeeze your legs together. So we're going to focus on keeping our imprint and keeping our knees right above our hips. Do your chin tuck. And then use the upper abs to curl up. Arms come slightly in front of the body. Make sure when you curl up, you don't pull your knees in like that. We want those knees staying over our hips. Now the hard part is keeping your imprint as you lower back down. So the lower abs just stay isometrically contracted here. Let's do that again. Tuck chin to chest, and then use the upper abs to lift the head and the shoulder blades off the mat. See your belly button sink it down a little deeper as you come up, and then keep your imprint as you lower back down. All right, let's pick up our pace a little bit. We'll exhale up, inhale down. Let's go for 4 more. Here we go. Exhale up. Inhale down. Long breaths. Exhale up. Inhale down. So as I come up, I'm seeing my belly button sink down. Inhale down. One more time. Exhale up. Inhale down. Rest your feet. Go to neutral. Roll your head side to side. Ooh, that's a lot of work. So let's give our abdominals a slight break. We'll work the back of our body, and then we'll come back and do more ab stuff. So let's go into a little bridge series. We're going to walk our feet towards our hips, or a little closer to your body. Keep your arms at the side, shoulder blades stay down on the mat. We're going to imprint the low spine, and then start to peel your hips and your spine off the mat. Focus on going one bone at a time until you reach the weight at the top of your shoulder blades. And you want to make sure you're not on your neck. We want to keep the ribs down, so just soften through your heart a little bit and focus on squeezing your glutes here. Inhale, staying at the top. Exhale, we're going to soften and roll down. And as we do that, let's take our arms overhead. So we get a really nice release through our shoulders. And again, just bringing the arms back as far as you can keep your ribs down. It's okay if your hands don't touch the floor all the way. Imprint the low spine. We're going to peel the hips up as we bring our arms to our side. Use the back of the arms to help you come up higher. Soften through the heart. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale. Continue that softening through your heart. And roll back down bone by bone. This should feel kind of good. Let's do that 2 more times with that 4 breath pattern. Exhaling up. Inhaling, stay. Exhaling, softening and rolling down. Inhaling, stay. One more time. Very nice job. We're going to take our arms up to the ceiling, palms face inward. Make sure your shoulder blades are against the mat. Imprint your low spine. Bring your legs to tabletop. Connect the legs here. Don't cross the ankles for this exercise because we're going to be sending out one leg at a time. So keeping your whole spine on the mat, we're going to take the right leg and just reach it out. Imagine hitting a bullseye with your toes, and you're only going to lower it as far as you can keep your imprint. So if your leg's way down here, but you're arching your back, just lift your leg up a little bit more and find your imprint. The imprint part is the most important. And then you're going to pull your knee back in on your exhale. Same thing on the left. Inhale, stretch it out. So as you reach that leg out, you're going to feel your abs deepen to hold on to that imprint. Inhale, pull it in. One more each way. Exhale, right leg goes out. Inhale, pull it back in. One more time left. Exhale, reach out. Inhale, pull it in. Now we're going to switch to the arms. Inhale, right leg goes up, or right arm goes up. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale, left arm. So we did these already with our feet on the mat. So now we're just using our core a little bit more to resist our spine arching off the mat as we bring one arm overhead and then back up. One more time each way, and then we'll take a quick break. Rest your feet on the mat. You just rest your arms down at your side. Find neutral. A couple deep breaths in and out. And then we're going to put this together. A lot of times when I teach this, I find that holding the one leg and arm in position as you move the other leg and arm is the most difficult. So just go slow. Try to get both arm opposite arm and leg to work together. If you mess up, who cares? Just keep going and hold on to your imprint. That's the most important. So we're going to take our arms back up, imprint the low spine, bring the legs to tabletop. So we're going to take the right arm and left leg, and we're going to reach them out. Hold on to that imprint. So the right leg and left arm are staying still, and then we pull them back in, connect the legs. All right, so now the right arm, left leg are going to stay still. We're going to take the left arm and right leg, reach them away. Press your whole spine into the mat. Slowly bring the left arm and right leg back in. So let's go ahead and do that again. Left arm and right leg stay still as you reach the right arm, left leg out. Pull everything back in. So you're always ending with your arms up to the ceiling and your legs in tabletop. And then again, right arm, left leg. I'm sorry, right leg, left arm. And pull it back in. So just making sure you're on opposites. Let's do one more each way. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, pull it in. One more time. Inhale, stretch away. Exhale, pull it in. And rest your feet. Find neutral. Bring your arms to your side. So you'll feel that work through your spine for the most part. It's going to be especially like right up in here, because as your arm goes overhead, you're resisting flaring, so all those muscles in your back have to work, especially through the abdominals. So from here, we're going to imprint again, bring the legs to tabletop. We're all going to cross the ankles for some hip lifts. So we're just going to roll the hips off the mat. It doesn't have to be a big movement. And you could think knees to shoulders. And we're going to exhale as we do that, and then inhale back down. And as you go back down, you're going to be an imprint, legs in tabletop. So you're not allowing your low back to arch off the mat as you come back down. We're going to cross our ankles the other way and do a few more. So it's just like your bridge. If you're getting up pretty high, just make sure you don't go onto your neck. We're just bringing our weight to about the top of the shoulder blades, and then you roll back down. But again, it's okay if you don't get up that far. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And rest. So I really start to feel that in my abdominals just doing something so simple like that. All right, everybody, we're going to go into 100s, and we're going to go into some sideline. So just a quick recap for essential. We're going to use a pulsing breath, so it will sound like this. So it's an inhale pulse through the nose, exhale pulse through slightly pursed lips. And when I do that pulse through for my exhale, I'm forcing it out just a little bit, like the one that we did when we were contracting our core as we force it out, just a little bit harder than if you're doing a regular exhale through your slightly pursed lips, if that makes sense. So it's just a little bit more forced. And what that does is it helps you engage your core. And then as you do your inhales, you're holding on to that, which you created by your exhales. So let's just practice the breathing part, and then we'll start pumping the arms up and down and try to match that with our breath. We'll just do a couple reps, and then we'll go right into them. So let's all take a deep breath in and out together. And begin. Start to add the arms. One more set. And rest. So let's go ahead and put that together. We're just going to hold the legs in tabletop today. And if you're pretty new or you haven't done this in a while and your neck gets tired, just put your head down, shoulder blades against the mat, keep your imprint, and just keep going without the curl. So we're going to imprint the low spine, bring the legs to tabletop. You can cross the ankles or just squeeze them together. Tuck chin to chest, come up into your ab prep, allowing the arms to come slightly in front of the body. Deep breath in and out together. See your belly button sink down in your exhale and begin. In, out, 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 out. 30, 40. Try to use your inhales into the ribs, just like we did at the beginning of class. 70, 80, 90, 100, and rest. Hug the knees in, roll side to side. Just take a nice deep breath in and out. Let your back and your abdominals rest for a moment. So again, it's nice because if you've been doing 100s for a long time, it's nice just to focus on the essential. Just doing that, and then when you're taking those inhales, like I was actually watching my ribs expand as I was inhaling. And then as I exhaled, I really pulled my belly in and I just tried to hold that contraction. And then I held that as I inhaled into the ribs. So it's kind of fun. You can just get back to basics and just really focus on the basics of each exercise. So we're going to come into a lying down position on our left side. You can bend your elbow, rest your head on your arm, or just keep the arms straight. Palm up or down, doesn't matter. Bottom knee is going to be bent. Find your little mouse house. So instead of the spine sinking down, we're going to add that little lift through the bottom oblique so our spine is straight. Top leg, we're going to point the toe. Lift the leg only as high as you can keep it pointing forward. Don't turn out like that. So keep your knee forward so you feel more work here. Flex the foot, lower back down. Point and lift. Flex and lower. So we're basically disassociating the movement of the leg from the rest of the body again. So as we're lifting and lowering the leg, you're holding on to this mouse house. That is keeping your pelvis from moving as well as your torso. So we'll inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Two more times. One more. Now take the leg lifted hip width, flex your foot. You're going to bend your knee, bring it into tabletop. Make sure your knee's in alignment with your hip. It's not down here and it's not up here. Right in alignment with your hip bone. Keep your mouse house. Point the toe, you're going to reach it down and just add a little backward stretch, anchoring through your bottom leg. Flex. Pull it into tabletop, point, reach it back. And I kind of like tap my thigh to my knee so I can make sure I get my knee up high enough so I'm not cutting my movement short. I just give it a little tap and then I stretch it down and back. Exhaling, inhaling. So again, now we're just swinging the leg back and forth basically. You want to resist any movement in the rest of your body. Two more times here. And one more. We're going to bring this knee down in front. Let the hip rest a moment. You can keep your leg here or turn it up. Take your bottom leg, reach it down. Find your mouse house again. Bottom foot, we're going to flex it and turn the heel up to the ceiling. And then from where your thigh meets your pelvis, you're going to squeeze it up. And if you notice, my movement is not very big. So it's just a squeeze up, up, up. So we get a little work into the adductors. Two more. One more. We're going to bend both knees, keeping the feet on the mat. Find your mouse house. Hand on your hip. Just make sure that hip doesn't roll back or forward. And we're going to do 10 clamshells here. 9, 8. I'm keeping my feet down today since it's an essential class, but if you want to lift your feet, you may. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, one more time, everybody. Nice job. We're going to bring our top hand down. Just push yourself up. You're going to stack your legs and just move them a little bit away from you. So now we're up on our left hand. Spread your fingers wide and press into the knuckles of your left hand. We're going to rest our right hand on our top shin. Make sure the shoulders are back. And we're going to push our hips forward. Just take the top arm up. Doesn't have to go overhead, just straight out to the side. And then slowly lower the hips and the hand. And again, hips push forward. So because you're pushing forward, they're coming off the floor. Now we're getting a lot of work in this shoulder, especially as you come down. This shoulder, or this hand still has to push down into the floor as you lower your hips. That, I think, is one of the hardest parts. Keep pulling that left shoulder back and down. We're going to do one more. We're going to hold. Take your top leg. You're just going to lift and lower 10 times. 9, sorry, not 10, 8, 6. So let's do 3 more. 2 more. We don't have to go that crazy today. 1 more. Good. Now we're going to try to put that all together for 6. So as you come up, the leg lifts. As you go down, the leg lowers. Hand and leg come up. Hand and leg go down. Keep pressing into that bottom hand and just do little adjustments. Like if you're sliding like I am, I'm just going to move my hand in a little bit so I can finish my last 3. 2 more. 1 more. And rest. We're just going to open up the legs so that your left foot is by the right knee. A lot of work in here. So let's give that a nice stretch to open it up before we do the other side. You can even rotate down towards your right leg, bring your hand onto the floor. And then we'll go ahead and come back up. You can swivel your legs around and we'll lie down on our other side. So you can bend your elbow, rest your head on your bent arm, or you can have your arms straight. Bottom knee is going to be bent. Find your mouse house so that you're not sinking down. So just a little lift so that you feel your spine is straighter. My shoulder is still on the mat, so I'm not lifting up so far where I'm now, my spine's facing the other way. So let the shoulder come down. It's just a little lift through your natural waist in the mat. Now the top leg, we're going to point the toes, lift it up, keep your toes and knees looking forward. Flex the foot, lower back down. So we point, we lift it, keep it looking straight ahead. Flex the foot, lower back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Six more times. 5, 4, 3, 2 more, 1 more time. Now take your leg, just lift it hip width. You're going to bend your knee, bring it in. You can tap your elbow if you want. Point the toe, reach it down, and then just a little reach back, keeping this hip forward. So you want to anchor through your bottom leg. Flex, pull it in, point, reach it down and back. So again, we're just swinging the leg forward and back, resisting any movement in the torso. Again, just isolating that movement from the hip. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. We're going to bring that leg down in front. Let the hip relax for a moment. Take your bottom leg, straighten it, and then you can keep your top leg here or you can turn it up. Bottom foot, we're going to flex it, turn the heel up to the ceiling. So your toes are on, the knee is off right now. So you're really reaching through your heel. Now from where your thigh meets your pelvis, you're gonna lift it up. And again, if you notice, even on this side, it's a very small lift. I'm just squeezing the inner thigh. Squeeze, squeeze. 3 more times. Squeeze, squeeze. 1 more time, squeeze. Bend both knees, stacking your feet and knees. Top hand on your hip to make sure it doesn't roll forward or back. And we're just gonna turn the top knee up and back down. And just like on the other side, I'm keeping my feet down today because this is essential, but you're more than welcome if you're at home, you want to lift your feet up to make it a little more challenging, go for it. I'm going to keep it essential today. 4 more times. 4, 3, little clamshells. 2, and 1. Very nice job, everybody. We're going to push ourselves up with our top hand. So you're coming up onto the right hand, and just maybe adjust your feet so that you're a little more open here. Your knees and feet are still stacked. Pull the shoulder back and down. Left hand resting on your shin. We're going to take an inhale and push the hips up by pushing them forward. And then slowly lower it back down. Remember, this hand is pushing into the ground. So you feel all this work underneath here as you lower down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. I think I did the reverse breath on the other side, so I apologize. Let's go ahead and exhale as we come up. Inhale as we come down. 2 more times here. 1 more. And just if you need to, if you're sliding, we're going to add our top leg. So we're going to push up and forward. And again, when I'm here, just for something for you guys at home, make sure your weight is on that bottom knee. There's really no weight on my bottom foot. Top knee is going to lift and lower for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. So a little bit of weight goes to my back foot as I lower, and we're going to come up, put everything together. Weights in my front knee or bottom front knee. That makes sense, this one. And then let's do that again for 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. 1 more time. Very nice job. So I'm feeling it right in here as I do that. So let's open that side body up. We'll bring the right foot by the left knee, and then just take the right arm up and over. Just open up that side body that we were just working. A couple deep breaths in and out. We're going to bring the arm all the way back up. We're going to pivot into a quadruped position, so on the hands and knees. Shoulders back and down. You want to feel like your back is nice and flat. That's going to be your tabletop here. So sit bones are looking straight back. They're not looking up or down. Just straight back. Shoulders also down. We're going to start to pick up one arm at a time. Inhaling, lift it up. Exhale, put it down. And you are going to feel a little weight transfer in your knees. You just want to resist that movement in your body. So body stays nice and still. So again, it's going back to that disassociating the movement in the shoulder joint from the rest of the body. 1 more right and left. Now just something to think about, we'll do it 1 more set. When you're picking up the arm, the opposite shoulder, like if you watch my right shoulder here, it's going to anchor down and it's going to stay there. So as I pick up my arm, it doesn't move, it doesn't come forward. You're really anchoring those shoulders down the whole time. So let's do it 1 more set. We'll kind of focus on that. So the shoulders just stay, and then one arm comes up, back down. We anchor that shoulder down, and then the other arm comes up and down. Anchor the shoulder down, switch. So you're always finding that anchor as your hand comes back down onto the mat. 1 more right and then left. That's going to help you if you have shoulder issues, because it's going to help work that stabilization through your shoulder girdle. So we're going to bring our hands forward, speaking of stabilizing our shoulders. We're going to bring our hips forward, anchor the shoulders down, cross the ankles. We're going to do 8 push-ups today. Your elbows will look slightly back and then press back up. And you want to almost feel as though your shoulder blades are not moving. Just go down as far as you know. You can push yourself back up 5 more times. 4 more. And you feel like you're leaning into your arms. 3 more. 2 more, so your hips go with you. 1 more time. We're going to sit back into a flat back child's pose so we get a nice release in our shoulders. And just several deep breaths in and out here to rest. And then we're going to come back up, lowering all the way down onto our belly, making a pillow with your hands. Let your forehead rest on your hands. Again, anchor your shoulders down. The tops of your feet are on the mat. What I mean by the tops of the feet is if you're standing and you look down, that's what I'm considering the tops of your feet. So not your toes, the tops of the feet. Once you have that in position, legs hip width apart, you're going to straighten your knees so much that the knees come off, but the tops of the feet stay down. Lengthen your tailbone to your heels so you're feeling like you're pressing your pelvis into the mat. And then we're going to lift just the head and the chest. Keep lengthening the tailbone to the heels, and then you're going to bring your pillow up to your forehead. So now the arms come off the floor. The tops of the feet stay on the mat. On your next exhale, slowly lower down. Keep the knees straight, tops of the feet on the mat. Lengthen the tailbone to the heels more, lift the head and the chest. Pull the belly up and in even deeper, and bring your pillow to your forehead. Tops of the feet stay on the mat. Breathe. On your next exhale, lower all the way down. Let's do that one more time. Lifting the head and the chest. Lengthen the tailbone more. Bring your pillow to your forehead. Tops of the feet on the floor. On your next exhale, slowly lower down. Rest. Now we're going to pick everything up at the same time. The tops of the feet will stay on the mat. So keeping the tops of the feet on, we're going to straighten the knees so the knees come off. Lengthen the tailbone to the heels. This releases pressure in the low back. Pull those abs up and in. And you're going to lift your pillow, your head and your chest off the mat at the same time. The tops of the feet stay on the floor. Exhale, lower back down. Remember, anchor those shoulders down. Inhaling up. Your belly will feel like it's pulling away from the floor. Exhale back down. 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. 1 more time. Belly pulls up, 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 up. And exhale back down. Rest. And then we're going to go ahead and sit in a shell stretch. Your knees can be apart or together. Round your spine over those flat legs and let the top of your head rest on the floor. So whenever we do extensions like that, it's really common to push the belly out into the floor to come up deeper. So it's actually the reverse so that you're contracting your abdominals. Your belly will pull up in order to get you to lift. And sometimes it's really hard to think about because your body doesn't want to naturally do that. Go ahead and restack the spine all the way back up. So I hope my cues of, pulling the belly up away from the mat as you lift up helps you at home. All right, we're going to come back into a quadruped position, shoulders back and down, anchoring through the hips and into our shoulders without shifting your weight. You're going to take your right leg, reach it back so the top of the foot is on the mat. And then we're going to lift the leg, keeping the right hip down, flex the foot, lower it back down. Point the toe, lift it up, flex, lower. Point, lift, flex, lower. One more time, point, lift, relax, lower. We're just gonna bend the knee and slide it in. Now, before we do the other side, as you lift your leg, a lot of times people want to do this and they want to dump into their belly and their back and their elbows. So you're going to resist that by keeping that stability in your hips, keeping the arms straight, and imagining that there's a light on the hip and it's going to stay shining straight down. It's not going to start to go out to the side. So let's find that anchorage through the shoulder blades. We're going to slide the left leg back without your weight shifting. Pick the leg up without dumping into the back. Flex, lower, point, lift, shoulders down, belly in. 2 more, lift, flex, lower, 1 more, lift, flex, lower, and then just slide the leg back in. And when you bring your weight onto both knees, there should be no movement in the hips. So trying not to do this kind of thing as you bring your leg down. So let's do that one more time, shoulders down. Right leg slides back, we lift, flex, lower. Point, lift, flex, lower. So you're only lifting your leg as far as your hamstring and glute will allow you. Slide the knee back in. Let's do the other side. So remember, when you bring your weight onto that right knee, there's no movement in your hips. Left leg slides back. We lift, flex, lower. Point, lift, flex, lower. Shoulders down. Point, lift, belly in, flex, lower. One more time. Slide the leg in. As we bring our weight onto both knees, there's no movement in the hips. Let's go ahead and sit back towards our heels. Give your wrists a little shake out. Just give them some circles. You can even latch your hands together and give them a little pull so we decompress the wrist. And let's switch the arms around and do it again. All right, everybody, we are going to end by holding a full plank for a minute, and then we will do some gentle stretches to end our class today. So planking is awesome because it just works everything and it makes you very strong. I'm going to give you the option to be on your forearms, which is easier for your shoulders, harder for your core. Or you could be on your hands, which is a little easier on the core, but harder for the shoulders. So you can choose where you want to be. If you're going to choose hands, make sure you press into this part of your hand. Don't have all your pressure here. So you want to push into here so you have even pressure, which will take pressure out of the wrist. I'm going to choose to be on my forearms today because I want to work my core a little bit more. So choose where you'd like to be. Let me watch the clock. And let's begin. Make sure the hips are down. Your legs can be apart or together. Shoulders down. Head is lifted, heavy head, so lift it up. It's in alignment with the rest of your spine. Keep holding, keep breathing. You might start to shake a little bit, that's okay. 15 seconds in. Really press into the heels. Relax the front of the ankle. Keep holding, keep breathing. We're halfway through. Keep going. You got this. Really lift up on your core. Resist the tendency to allow the hips and the low back to drop to the floor. So keep that core engaged. I know it's hard. Keep holding, keep breathing. 15 more seconds to go. We got this. Body's starting to shake a little bit. Keep holding, keep breathing. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2. Gently bring your knees down. Knees wide, feet together. And sit back in a flat back child's pose again. And just let your body settle in, settle down towards the mat. Let the forehead rest on the mat. Let's just take a few deep breaths in and out. On your next exhale, let's restack our spine nice and slow into a little seated, kneeling position. All the way back up. We're going to come into a quadruped and take the left foot forward. You can slide your right leg back and do a hip flexor stretch. And we didn't do any twists today, so we'll do a spinal twist to end. So really feel this stretch through the body, coming up onto the fingertips, maybe lift the heart a little bit. A few more deep breaths in and out, just holding a few more moments. Giving that hip time to open up. Now straighten your front leg and just slide it back a little bit. Make sure your bottom is not sitting on your back foot. We're just going to take a gentle hamstring stretch. You could flex your foot or point, you could do a little bit of both. Just a quick one. And then go ahead and slide the left leg back. We're going to step the right foot forward and then come into your hip flexor stretch on the left. Just be gentle. Shoulders back, maybe come up onto the fingertips and lift your heart a little bit if you want to open up a little more. Just a few more deep breaths in and out. And then we're going to extend the front leg. You can slide it back a little bit. Again, make sure you're not sitting on your back legs. We want this knee open. And then just lift your sit bones or kind of arch your back to feel a deeper stretch. And then you can flex and point your foot if you want, or just flex it, or just point it, wherever you feel like this today. We're going to slide that leg back and come to a seated position with our left leg in front. So I usually try to add in all different spinal movements. We didn't really do any lateral flexion, but we really didn't do any rotation today. We did lateral flexion, we did flexion, and we did extension. So let's end by doing a nice little spinal twist, and then we'll do a quick side bend lateral flexion again. So we're going to make a genie arm. Anchor through your hips and make sure you're on the sharpest points of the sit bones. Make sure you're not sitting in front of them or behind them, right on the sharpest point. Melt the front of the ribs down, shoulders down. Imagine a straight line through the center of your body, and we're going to rotate around that line to the right. Inhale, come back to center. And then again, we're going to rotate around that line to the left. Equal weight on your hips. Inhale, back to center. You're going to feel those muscles in your spine working. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Now we're going to do it 2 more times each way. I want you to switch your legs. I'm going to say something real fast before we do the other side. Make sure that your arms don't start to do this, or all of a sudden this shoulder joint is closed. And honestly, when I do that, it just feels weird. It just doesn't feel right. It feels very closed in here. So your arms stay just like this. There's no shifting in the shoulder joint. It's coming from the spine itself, from here, from the ribs in the spine. So anchoring through the hips again, shoulders down. Keep that in mind. And let's take an exhale, rotate to the right. Shoulders don't move. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to your left. Inhale, back to center. One more time each way. Last one. And back to center. We're going to take the arms in front and just extend over the legs, reaching the arms forward so you get that nice stretch in the back of your right hip. And restacking the spine, switching legs. Do that one more time on this side. And coming all the way back up, left arm up and over, our last side bends today. And then right arm up and over. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Make sure you like my video if you did it and you like it.